Linda.
Hey, Matt.
And welcome everyone to It's So Road, our second episode. So how's it going, Linda?
Good. It's a little chilly here in Florida.
Yeah, what's the weather like there?
It's beautiful sunny skies. The skies are like beautiful blue, but the wind is blowing, so we're getting a chill. I think it's like in the 70s, and I'm ready to go put my fuzzy bathrobe on.
Oh, that's rude. So it seems we have a It's So Road deal going on. You know, the first episode, it was about to rain. And this is the second episode, and now it is raining again.
Oh, my.
So it is it's about 45 degrees outside and about ready to rain. So it's very, very cold. It's probably one of the only times of the year you'll see me wear a sweater.
Wow. I'm not coming there.
No, not right now. No, it's supposed to be like this through the end of the week, and then it's supposed to be 70s and sunny skies, probably until next Wednesday when we do It's So Road episode 3. It'll probably rain again, I'm sure.
Wow. Well, maybe you need some rain.
Well, we do, but that's another story for another day. So we have some news about Road at Home, don't we?
Yes, we do. We have been working so hard to get you a fabulous slate of instructors, and we're just about ready. And when are we going to upload the classes?
So the classes should be online in 2 to 3 weeks, and I'm not fooling you, but did you know we are opening registration for Road at Home May on April Fools?
Oh, man, April Fools.
On April Fools, right? So April 1st, we're going to have registration open. Right now, there's like 16 classes a day already slated for Road at Home May, so that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and we've expanded our professional development, which is important.
Absolutely.
We had some really good attendance in those classes. So, but all our classes are great.
They are, and yes, we are anticipating a fantastic Road at Home May, just like we're anticipating a fantastic lineup of It's So Road guests coming up, and also we got some questions about how long we're going to be doing It's So Road. And I don't think Linda and I really know, but the answer really is we're going to keep going until we run out of friends or we get bored.
Yeah. And you can always put your comments in the chat or send us an email. And if you have something you want us to talk about, we'll talk about anything. If you have a guest you might like to see, we'll see what we can do about getting them on. So we're doing this for you. So you just tell us, give us some suggestions what you'd like us to do.
Absolutely. And remember, we have a lot of friends. So if there's somebody that you kind of want to see and you're not sure whether we can get them on here or not, let us know. I mean, we're ready to go and ask and see what we could get.
You want to know who's coming on next week?
Who's coming on next week?
Charlotte and Gotti.
Oh, Charlotte's great. I love Charlotte. And I heard something else, a little rumor through the rumor mill, since somebody was asking about a list of teachers on here on the comments. Did you know who's going to be teaching at Road at Home in May?
Me.
Well, duh. But who else?
Charlotte and Gotti.
Charlotte and Gotti. So I bet you'll find us interviewing and chatting with some of our Road at Home teachers here on It's So Road. So we really can't wait to invite them on here.
Now, Charlotte and I have a common thing, interest. We both like cooking.
Does Charlotte like your version of cooking or my version of cooking?
Probably yours.
So what did you cook, Linda? What's the last thing you cooked?
Hamburger helper. It's gourmet.
Nice.
I make it. I put all the stuff on it, sprinkle some parsley and maybe a dollop of sour cream, and it looks gourmet.
Linda is a gourmet chef from a box.
Yeah, open a bottle of wine. Yeah, you have a couple of glasses of wine before you eat it. You won't know.
There you go. So a little bit of a preview into what we are going to chat about today on It's So Road. The first things first, Linda's going to chat about a giveaway we're going to be doing today. Then we're going to be interviewing author Patience Griffin, who has a mini trunk show for you and is here to ask questions. And I hear there's a dog in the latest book. And if you didn't know, I love dogs. And then I hear Stevie Graves is going to be doing a product review of Ziploc bags. No joke, Ziploc bags. And then lastly, our news segment, the UFO Graveyard. We have two very interesting UFOs to chat about, and maybe they won't end up in the graveyard after all. So we'll get right there. I think Linda has a few short announcements about who's sponsoring our giveaway today, and then let's get right to it, Linda.
Yeah, we have Patience is so generous with her giveaways. She has 3 different giveaways today, and we so appreciate that. She is a fabulous author, fabulous, and she's a quilter too. When you go on her website and you read about her a little bit, you'll see that she was an engineer prior to becoming an author. And then she also designs the quilts to go with her books. And she's also a guest designer for Banyan Batik, so she even has a line of fabric. So I mean, that's some big difference with going from an engineer to being an author to a fabric designer. So
that is a big difference, because I mean, I know a lot of quilters bounce around, and they didn't start off quilting. A lot of people start off as an engineer. A vendor I know started off as a bridge engineer, is designing bridges, and then he started vending at quilt shows. Kind of crazy. If you know who that is, drop it in the comments.
Yeah. So I was a paralegal, and I showed horses. So now I teach quilting and write quilt books, and I teach Zumba. So that's really different ends of the spectrum.
Awesome. Well, I think without any delay, I think let's welcome Patience Griffin to the show. Hi, Patience. How are you?
There she is.
Hi, everybody.
Oh, look at that hat.
I love my hats.
Oh, you should have told me you were wearing a hat. We have hats.
We do have hats.
Really nice today, Linda.
What?
I said your hair looks really nice today.
Oh, thank you.
I like the red color.
Well, it's not supposed to be red. It's actually box du jour, because I grabbed the wrong box in the store.
Oh my goodness.
I couldn't remember the number of the color. So that's what it is.
That's gorgeous.
So Patience, tell us about your books.
I will. So the book that just came out 2 weeks ago, let's see if we can, I don't know if you can see that very well. How about this? Probably not. Anyway, this is called One Snowy Night, and it's about a group of quilters in small town Alaska. It's a second chance story. It's a romantic women's fiction, because it's not a typical romance, because I do love the community of quilters and how all the women interact. And it's so nice because I feel like I get to be with quilters every day while I'm writing. So this is the first book in a new series. I have 9 books in the Kilts and Quilts series about quilters in small town Scotland. So wanted to hold that one up too. But yes, no, the book just came out. It's getting really wonderful reviews. Yay for that. So anyway, and I'm working on a secret project that is due April 1st. It's a whole other quilting thing. And then I'll be working on the 3rd book for this, because the 2nd book is already turned in.
When you do your books, do you do any location research?
Oh, you betcha. You bet you. When Penguin Random House called and asked for a proposal for Alaska, I wrote up the proposal and then I booked a flight. I actually have a friend who had two brothers living there and they've been there for 30 something years. And so flew up there and spent a week traveling around, went to, I believe,
She's
11
on.
quilt shops. I came home with a stack of fabric that I haven't had time to play with yet. But anyway, so yes, and Scotland, I've been there many, many times. I've spoken to the guild, the quilt guild over there several times. I have some wonderful quilting friends in Scotland. I feel very blessed.
Now, you don't have to say specifics, but do any of your characters are they based on perhaps somebody that you met and some stories that you heard?
Not going to name any names, but oh, you betcha that on that too. Yeah, it's very interesting to pull people. Just maybe if it's just little snippets sometimes, somebody's personality or something like that. Um, I don't write really evil characters, but there is that chance if somebody's mean to me, they could end up in a book. Yes, absolutely.
Oh, we need to remember that, Linda.
That's right.
So,
okay, I'm going to rephrase my next question.
well, here's my next question, Linda. I got one for you. I heard there was a puppy in the story.
There is. I don't think I can reach my desk from here. I don't know if you can. You see this little guy here? He's a Bernese Mountain Dog. This little guy. He's a sweetie pie.
Those aren't little doggies, are they? Unless they're puppies.
It's a puppy, and he's a runt, so he's a little one in the bunch. And yes, and yes, and Bernese Mountain Dogs, they're work dogs. I mean, they like to work. But he's just a sweetie. Yes, and I have dogs throughout. I mean, my first book has a dog, and what's interesting, this artwork is absolutely beautiful on my first book. And right here, this little black dot, that's the dog that's in this book. And there's a quilt. There's a bench and there's a quilt that you can't see either. I had to fight to put a quilt block on the back of the book because they're not watching. Anyway, Penguin's not watching. They didn't understand that quilters are voracious readers. I mean, at least in my experience, I felt like whenever we were quilting with my friends back in Iowa, it kind of turned into a book club. Everybody would talk about what books they were reading. So yes, no, I love dogs. The second book that I've finished already for Alaska has a dog in it. The third one, so I have one of my dogs, I shoved him outside because he won't stop barking. He's a Sheltie, so he's outside. My Bichon Poo I put in my son's bedroom. But I'm thinking the third dog might be a Bichon Poo because that little dog is just he's my heart. I mean, I love all my dogs, but there's something about him. He's a lap dog. Maybe that's why.
Now, do you do quilts based on your books?
Yes, so in all the books there's quilts that are featured. So when I got my first contract, I was slammed pretty hard. I had to put a book out every 5 to 6 months. There for a while, it just about did me in. And so I contacted a quilter I know. I was like, I need a quilt. I write it into the story, and then she created it. So we did that for the first 4, even though I've created now quilts for those first 4 that I'm bringing out too. And so yes, always there's always a feature quilt. But let's say book number 8, I believe there's 6 quilts. So because I've gotten the banyan fabric, and so kind of went nuts. This is one of them. So got a couple of those here. So the fabric that you're seeing, this is all banyan batiks.
Banyan. You had a line with Banyan.
Yes, the Kilts and Quilts fabric. Yes. Yeah, 33 fabrics, and it's still available at stores now.
All right. I got to ask, does your Kilts and Quilts book, does that answer the burning question?
I know what you're going to ask.
Oh, yeah. We knew this was where you were going, Linda.
Okay, I'm going to tell you a really quick story, and this is from my last trip in Scotland. I was going to go catch the bus, and so I like to stay in a small town called Crail, 1,700 people. It's my favorite place in Scotland. So I go to the bus stop, and I sit down, and a man comes up, and he's kind of limping, and he's very elderly, and he started talking and telling me stories, but he was telling me that when he was younger, that being in the military was required. He had to do six weeks, and he was stationed at Stirling Castle, and so they had a mirror on the floor. So when you got up in the morning and you got your uniform on and you walked across this mirror, there was somebody standing to look to make sure. This is what he said, that you weren't wearing anything underneath your kilt. That's what he said. He said it was miserable because it's wool, and he was itchy, and this is what he said. I I've never looked under anybody's kilt, to be honest, so I just don't.
That makes two of us.
So, yeah.
Okay.
You okay, Linda?
One of these days, I'm going to peek.
Enjoy that one, Linda.
Yeah,
So a question for you. I've always been curious about what it takes to be, a conventional author, but then tie quilting books into it. That can't be easy, is it?
Well, okay. So when I first started writing, um, my husband said to me, he goes, "Write what you know." And I grew up in a town of 600 people, and my grandmother was a professional seamstress. She had a line with a famous bar of children's clothes, and I learned to sew very young, and so to me it's not that hard because quilting are my people. When I didn't I did not start quilting until my mid to late 30s. I can't remember if I was like 37, 38, something like that. And I'd always sewed. I made my children's clothes. I did things like that. Um, but and I had waited my whole life for somebody to give me a quilt. And finally, I was like, I'm going to make one. and and so I got one of those magazines. These magazines lie. The one that says make a quilt in a weekend. Now, if you've never made one before, and you go to take scissors on a fabric and cut it straight, yeah, I ruined a whole bunch of fabric, had to go back to the store, buy more fabric, start over. But my daughter and I, we did it together. Her quilt was done in 6 months. Mine took 2 years, but I did a king size for my very first quilt. It will never be in any trunk show ever. My husband loves it because I made it for him, but it's really hideous. It's so awful. I didn't understand how you're supposed to make contrasting things, so it would pop. I just made it all matchy matchy, so it just all blurred together. It's really horrible. But anyway, so you asked the question about is it hard, and the answer for me is no, because when I started quilting, that's when I met my clan, my people, my peeps, my everything. And so while I'm writing, I feel like I have all my quilting friends around me.
Wonderful. Well, let's make sure that the audience knows. If you have any questions for Patience, throw them in the comments and we'll throw them up and get them answered. But how about we look at some quilts?
Okay, absolutely. So this first one, this is the Gandy Gal library quilt. So it has a thistle, a Scotty dog. You can see the sheep, and you can't see the wellies. The wellies are on the bottom. And I put my book titles up here, and so I've got a few slots here that I can still put some of my titles up. So that means there's more books coming, right? And this is all made with Banyan Batik's fabrics. This quilt, so I did what they do at market. I hung them on the side here, but it may fall over, so I'm going to be very gentle. This is the goodbye quilt, and this is featured in book number 6. And I think this is probably my favorite of my quilts. It was interesting because when I was writing the story, I had to stop writing and sketch really quickly. Um, anyway, I love this quilt. I love how the Banyan Batik fabrics, how it just all pops, and it's just so much fun. So there's that one, very gently. And this is this one goes with book number 5, The Trouble with Scotland. And actually, I hung it the wrong way because usually I put this down in this corner, so it looks kind of weird to me to see it on the screen. Anyway, love this quilt. Okay,
So Patience, if the audience wanted to be able to purchase any of these patterns, They're separate from the books, right?
Correct. Yes. And so there's a couple of things you can do. You can ask your local quilt shop, which I always try to encourage people to do that, or they can go out to my Etsy site. They're all on my Etsy site too. And I also on Etsy, while we're speaking about it, I do have books out there that I can sign personally, and that's U.S. only. I can sign personally and get those shipped off. So this quilt I'm going to show you is not. This is just fabric I pulled, and this was just one day I was writing, and it's like I really need a picture of my town that was in Scotland. Gandygow is the name of the town, which means squall in Scottish. And anyway, so I just pulled some fabric, and this is my town. If I can hold it up high enough. But so of course this isn't made with Banyan Batiks. This is just a bunch of stuff I grabbed. That's my town. Can you see it? See, I can't see the screen.
Absolutely can.
Okay. So there's that one. This quilt this is the Gandygow Rosette, and so this goes with book number 8, Kilton, Scotland. And Kilton, Scotland is a mystery. It was my first time, writing a mystery within my world. So that was really fun. I just have to say, I have friends that write, and they feel like they can't write unless there's at least one dead body in it. And I really had fun with that book. I mean, I was shocked about it because I don't, I was just shocked. It was a lot of fun to write. And it's not something, I may do. I've got a couple other ideas, but for now, anyway. But this was in that book. So these rosettes, this is what I'm wearing right here too. One of the things about this quilt that I love, I have big buttons on here, but I have a dark colorway also that I have all of my grandmother's brooches on it. And so I wear my grandmother's brooches on my thing. And it's really awesome because you don't know how many times I'll try to go somewhere, can't find a certain brooch. So it's great to have it on the quilt and just go get it off the quilt.
I do believe the books are available in audio format. Is that correct?
They are all of them. So 10. So yeah. So even my new book. This is my 10th novel, and so they're all in audio, all on Audible, all different places that you can get that. So this is the last one to show you, and this is called Feeling Sheepy. I don't know, can you see the sheep in the fabric? So this is a batik that has sheep in it. Let's move it up closer, maybe.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, there they are.
Yeah. Anyway, I love this fabric so much. The sheepy fabric with Banyan Batik. So that's part of my collection too. And so there are 6 or 7 sheep. So different colorways of the sheep. So there is that. Did we get any questions?
We've been answering them as we go. I believe if anybody has any questions about where they could buy the sheep fabrics and the Banyan Batiks, probably your local quilt shop, if they stock Banyan Batiks, would be a great choice. Patience, do you have any ideas on anywhere else?
Yes. So I have put on my homepage, it's patiencegriffin.com. I've put a little thing. I have a box that says Banyan Batiks. It's their logo, and if you click on that, it'll take you to the Northcott website. And over on the side, it says Product Finder. And so you just do a drop down and you pick your state and you look that way. That's a great way to do it. But one of the things about it, because there's so many different colorways, you have to go click on each colorway. So if there's a certain colorway you like, make sure you click on it and then do the drop down again to find out what shops have it.
And that's downloadable for EQ, is it not?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So you can download the fabrics and bring them right into your electric quilt program.
Right. Best way to do it. I think they do a really good job of getting the scale correctly, which is hard to do, or at least for me, because I'm still learning Illustrator, to pull into Illustrator and get that scaling correctly, make it look right.
You have a question?
Patience. Oh, go ahead, Linda.
I was going to say, are you going to be designing anything for Alaska? Any fabric for Alaska?
Well, Right now, the answer is no. I am working on something, so that's a come sort of thing. Working in the backgrounds on that one. I have a whole, I don't know, probably 25 inspirational things. I get a lot of questions asking for the Alaska fabric. So yes, I will be excited if that comes to fruition.
That sounds exciting. Alaska's a popular place.
Oh, it's wonderful there. After the long flight from Texas, getting to Alaska, I got off the airplane. It's like I'm just exhausted and feeling a little grumpy. And I look out the window and it's mountains. And I was like, and I started like turning to people going, "Did you see this?" But that's just me. I was just very excited while I was there. It was beautiful.
And you have a question. Where did you live in Iowa?
Marshalltown. I was there for 9 years. Yes.
Where is that by?
Iowa's wonderful. I grew up in the Midwest. I grew up in Missouri in a small town, and I thought I understood service and Southern hospitality and things like that. And I got to Iowa, and they just take care of their neighbor. And the quilting group up there, we met every month on Saturday mornings, and it was just a wonderful, wonderful thing. I still wish I was there. I mean, Texas is nice. My husband loves Texas, but I miss Iowa.
So one other thing on purchasing the fabrics, please shop your local quilt shop when at all possible. We want to make sure those local quilt shops get all the business they can get. So please make sure to shop your favorite neighborhood quilt shop so that they're there the next time you want to go buy some fabric.
Yeah.
Yes, I 100%. Please.
So perfect. Well, Patience, I really enjoyed looking at your quilts, and I'm very excited about the book. Whenever I have a chance to actually read again, with the little kids running around, I will definitely be picking it up and glancing through it. It sounds very exciting. I know Stevie Graves, our product reviewer, has already reviewed it and gave it a glowing review. So if you haven't checked out last week's episode of It's So Road, the product review segment was all about Patience's new book.
Well, and yes, thank you, Stevie. I'm sure you're out there somewhere. Thank you so much for reviewing that. That was wonderful. I especially loved the last part where you said you were like, okay, the only problem was with the book, and I held my breath, and then you said it ended, and I was like, oh. So, but thank you, Stevie. I appreciate it, and thank you, Matt and Linda, for having me here. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us.
You bet. Anytime.
Stay tuned.
Perfect. Well,
where are we going next?
Where are we going next? Well, it's kind of crazy, but did you know that Ziploc bags are the perfect use for quilting? So Stevie's going to hop on next and go over a product review of the none other but the classic Ziploc bag.
Yeah, before we go there, wait a minute. Ziploc bags. I have a story. My mom used to go to smorgasbords. That was a big deal. And she used to bring all kinds of baggies, and she'd bring her biggest purse. And she would go to smorgasbord, her and my brother-in-law's mother, and the two of them, they'd be stuffing everything. We'd eat for a week on everything they put in their Ziplocs and took home. So that's my Ziploc story.
Ziploc bags, a multi-use product.
Yeah.
That's right. Oh, how dare I forget the giveaway. Patience, how about you chat a little bit about your giveaway?
Okay, absolutely. So I thought there'd be 3 winners. One person can win the book, and this is open to international, so I can send it through Book Depository. It won't be signed. And so that's one of the giveaways. Another one is a bundle of fat quarters from Banyan Boutiques. So thank you, Banyan Boutiques.
Oh, does it have sheep?
There is some sheep in here. Yes, it's actually the sheep that I showed you. Yes, it actually has 2 sheep in here. And Linda, I don't think you qualified to enter. I'm sorry.
Nope.
And then the third one, I knocked it on the ground. Hold on. I'm giving away the pattern for this quilt here. You're not getting this quilt because I worked very hard on this quilt, but I'm giving away the pattern also. So there you go. So 3.
That is so generous, Patience. Thank
That's
you.
fabulous.
You're welcome. And so how did they enter, Matt?
All right, I have the raffle guidelines in front of me to read. Jillian popped the link up here. It's in the comments. However, there are 2 separate links. The first link is for the book and is open to all international people 18 years of age or older. The second link is for, we'll pick 2 winners from that link. The first one is for the Fat Quarter Pack. The second one is for the pattern, and those are available for U.S. residents only. Just so everyone knows, the raffles will remain open until next Tuesday at 11 a.m. And we will be announcing the winner on the episode number 3 of It's So Road. After that airs, you will have 3 days to respond to us with accepting the prize and getting us your shipment information so that we can ship you the prize. So that's the little bit of guidelines for you, but the most important thing is click on that link, subscribe to the Road to California newsletter, subscribe to Patience's newsletter, and check us out on Facebook. You'll get a bunch of entries through Rafflecopter. It's really great, very easy to use, and you'll be able to stay in touch with all of us.
Yeah.
So perfect. Perfect. Well, thank you, Patience. And up next, we have Stevie Graves' Ziploc bag product review.
Okay, I got
Lillian,
it.
I can't read anything you're typing.
The giveaway will be on the website.
Oh, the giveaway will be on the website at the end of the episode. So please stay tuned to that. So without any further ado, we are going to pop up and throw the Stevie Graves on here with the product review. So thank you so much, Patience. And yes, just so everyone knows, It's So Road is always on Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Pacific time.
2
So
o'clock
that is
Eastern time.
correct. So even though the time is changing here soon, it's still going to be at 11 o'clock. So perfect. Here we go with the product reviews.
Hello. Today we're going to talk about Ziploc bags. By the way, I'm in Leesburg, Virginia, and it is 70 degrees here right now.
It's warm there. I'm coming there.
Oh, I expect that we will have another snow before the month's over, but it sure doesn't feel like it like right now. All right, Ziploc bags, the quilter's best friend. And look at this pile. Oh, Ziploc bags, all different sizes. Now, the one we're not going to talk about is the one that you stick the vacuum cleaner on and suck all the air out. Now, I've heard that the Ziploc brand of those works the best, but I had a bad experience by putting a down comforter in one of those and shoving it under my bed. And by the time fall came along, the bag had leaked, and I couldn't get the stupid thing out from underneath my bed. But it took, I did eventually because my husband was screaming. So Ziploc bags, big ones. Very often we see these kind of bags coming into Road to California for the contest entry. And those bags are either 2 feet by 2 feet and 8 inches, or they are 2 feet by 1 foot and 8 inches. So they are great for storing quilts. They are also great for hauling big projects around, especially if you're going to a retreat or something like that. All right, the next size, gallon sized. And let's see, those are 10 by 10, basically. I don't know if they count the zipper part or not. So these are handy for a lot of different things. Again, projects and all kinds of stuff. And I do know that the gallons and the quarts are also, the ones that are marked for freezer use are a little bit heavier duty. And I like that. Then we've got the quarts. Now they've got quarts that have a bag bottom, so they will stand up but for our use, it's really better to have the flat ones. And one of the things that I do with the quartz is if I have a quilt book, I tape those into the back. This is like driving a trailer. It's just completely backwards. I think I'm going right and I should be going left. Yep. So here is.
That's a good idea.
So I know that I've got the templates, or either the plastic templates that I've made or ones that I bought to go with a particular book. I keep them in the book because then I always know where they are. It's either that or they're underneath a pile on the cutting table, but we aren't going to go there. Sandwich bags. If you belong to a guild, you've probably been given a sandwich bag full of parts to do for a guild raffle quilt or for a mystery quilt. So these are absolutely wonderful, and they're relatively inexpensive too. But one of the things that I do with the quarts and the gallons is that I go to a discount place, Target or Marshall's or something, and I buy a placemat. Now I use placemats under my machine when I'm taking a class or when I am at a retreat, because I can put my machine on that and I can push it back and forth if I need more space in front of me. At home, my machine is in a table, and I'm not going to move that. But so anyway, okay, taking this placemat, and then I have layered quarts and gallons in the middle of this placemat to make a little thing to carry my projects around with. And I secured them by adding a piece of ribbon down the middle. Now, this is cording so that I can actually thread my thread or bobbins on this cord, tie it up so that I can take my thread with me that way. And the only other thing I've added is I put some pockets using Road to California fabric, of course. A little, and then this one just slides, and it's got a little tiny cutting mat in it.
Well, that's
So
pretty cool.
That is really an easy thing to do with a placemat and some great Ziploc bags, and it's really amazing how long these things will last, unless you stick your scissors in there and then you poke a hole. That's completely different. But the best ones are the little tiny snack bags. You can store thread in there, especially floss if you're into embroidery. But I prefer to put my emergency Oreos in mine. So we're kind of into Oreos on this, the four of us working on this. So I am going to take my Oreos, if I don't eat them first, and I'm going to go around my area and take pictures of Oreos in different places. And I would like you to do the same thing. And you could enter them by send them in an email as an attachment to info@Road to California. And then we will be doing some interesting pictures of Oreos. But to get us started, I took a picture this week. And of course, my neighbors thought I was a little crazy, but that's a normal situation. So Jillian, can you show us the picture that I took for springtime Oreos?
Springtime Oreos.
This is planting Oreo seeds. Now, do you think they're going to come up? I hope so, because I like Oreos. So thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing your Oreo pictures and see what you can do creatively with Ziploc bags.
Now, wait, I have a question before
Yes.
Which is the best size Ziploc to take to a smorgasbord buffet kind of thing, just in case?
Oh, I would do the gallons, because if the stories you told me about your mother, she didn't take one chip. She took the whole basket,
Yeah.
right? So you need the gallon size.
Yeah. Okay, and I have to bring my big purse too.
Yes. Yeah, the 2.5 gallon size, different Hefty makes great bags also. And it will hold a small to medium project like Cindy says. I agree with that very much. So
Okay, so when I come to your house and you cook for me, if you're missing any food and you don't have leftovers, just look at my purse.
well, it's either that or my grandson is in the basement or something. Big Ziploc bags. Yes, you can find them on Amazon, but I've also found them at Target and at Walmart. So,
Does that big one have a name?
well, they're called extra large or large, and now sometimes they're calling them jumbos. So, a jumbo is the XXL size, and it's 2 feet by 2 feet 8 inches.
Okay, you have a question.
No, I just put it together. But if you send an email, I can write some directions up and send it to you, Linda. Yes, not Han, Linda Allen.
Yeah, that was informative.
That was very informative.
Yeah.
Who thought all that about Ziploc bags?
I know, and you doubted me, didn't you?
I did, because we get all those giant Ziploc bags for quilt shipping. I never know what happens to them. They all disappear.
I know what happens to them. The people that are unpacking the quilts squirrel them away. I've tried, but they always beat me out of it.
Right? Well, perfect. Well, if there are no more questions for Stevie about Ziploc bags, we're going to move on to our. Oh, I don't know, Beth. That's up to Stevie. Do you want to offer that placemat as a class?
We'll talk about that. I certainly can. I do teach, but.
Well, perfect. Well, then what we'll do is we'll reconvene on that one. But I think the next segment we have is our UFO graveyard.
Yeah, and
So-
you know we've been getting the emails. They're kind of asking for some advice too.
They are. So how this is going to work is we've opened it up for submissions, and we got some submissions. So we picked 2 for this week. And of the 2 that we picked, we're going to go through and we're going to allow you to vote on whether you would stitch it or you would ditch it. So, and some of the quotes are pretty nice. So let's throw the first one up there, Steve or Jillian. The first one is from Paula. She has named it Easy Peasy Circles. And she says, in 2017, I took a class on sewing circles into quilts called Easy Peasy Circles as an alternative to making appliques on the top. Great class. We started by creating a background using a jelly roll for a background to insert circles in, and that part went well. I got as far as inserting the first circle. I never liked the graduated orange-yellow colors for the circles, but could not come up with a color scheme I liked better, so I never finished it. So what do you think, Linda?
Well, the jelly roll has some interesting colors back there. And looks like the lines are kind of straight.
Yeah, I have no issues actually with the background itself. I think it might have been a patriotic kind of background. The jelly roll that was used to put it together, I think it's pretty good on the background. My question is the use of the yellow, orange, graduated color scheme for the dots.
I think the yellow on the top is a little hard on my eyes.
Yeah,
I
I think
too yellow.
and I'm not so certain that background really needs the dots. I understand it was a class project, but I'm not so certain the dots add anything in that color scheme.
I kind of like the dots. I kind of like the dots. I'm not sure I like that color, but I kind of like the dots.
You know, the first time I saw this, when we were interviewed through these, I looked at that background and I in my head I removed the dots and I thought, wow, if you had a house with a color scheme with reds or blues or even creams, because there's some creams in there, if you stitch that into a pillowcase and put a pillow in it and put it on the couch, that would look really nice.
Yeah, we're getting
Right?
all kinds of suggestions coming up in the chat.
We are. Let's see. Yeah, I agree with the background. I do like the background. What else do we have here? And not so you do it as an applique and not, that's interesting. I didn't think about that.
Great.
I agree, Barbara. That's if the dots are a necessary item for the design, I agree. I would keep with the navy, the red, and the white color schemes, but maybe a pattern. Maybe a bolder pattern. The batiks and kind of the hand-dyes seem to kind of get lost in the background, in my opinion, but a bolder pattern or what? Oh, this is kind of crazy. What about polka dotted fabric for the dots on dots? I don't know.
What about changing the dots to stars?
Oh, there you go. That wouldn't be too hard. Huh.
Swirly stars there, yeah.
Swirly stars.
Yes, I'm going to say I would stitch it.
I agree with that. I'm not feeling the... Now, if you wanted to keep it with the yellows and the oranges, I would ditch it. I feel like they're very harsh to the background, but otherwise, I would stitch this out. I think you're onto something here with the circles, and I agree with Linda. Maybe change them up to stars, or gray dots. I do from where I'm sitting. I think there is some gray tones in those blues, and the grays might pop. It might actually work out very well there.
Yeah. So
applique flowers. That's a stitch it. I agree. That's definitely a stitch it here. One more comment, Jillian, and we'll move on to the next one. Full moon to... Oh, I like that idea too. Full moon to crescent moons. All right, Jillian, let's hit the next one. All right, so the next one is by Nancy. Nancy calls this project Night and Day. I worked this up, but now see that the steps that separate the dark and light sections are too regular. I can easily finish the top, but is it worth quilting? It's pretty big, about 65 inches square. Now, this would cause a lot of debate in the office. And the picture is quite dark on here, though, isn't it? Yeah, if you look at the picture, we'll drop the picture in the comments after the show's over so you can see the full images. But this is quite a bright quilt when you actually see the image in full size. What do you think, Linda?
I would definitely stitch it. It might need some custom quilting. It would definitely be beyond my skills, but I think getting some custom quilting, or if you don't want to send it out to somebody that specializes in artsy kind of quilts, I would do some research on artsy kind of quilts to get the right quilting. This quilt, I think, could look spectacular if it had the right quilting on it.
And I think once that bottom corner is finished, see there's a white spot in the bottom corner. I think where she's waiting to insert another block to finish that sequence. And I think once that's done, I agree with you, custom quilting, but I would finish it as is. I wouldn't add any borders, and I think the binding would look really awesome if it matched the colors as it goes around, right? So you actually have a change in the binding where the orange and the blue meet. I think that would be really, really interesting to look at. I actually really like this quilt, and I agree with you, Linda. Some custom quilting that matches the motifs and the blocks and stuff would be really great. Graffiti quilting would be good too.
Yeah, definitely no border. I like the not that I do binding. In the 2-color binding, I really like that. And I actually don't mind the that the lines that it looks too God, what's the right word? Set out, that it's a log. It's a log cabin. It's a traditional block with a twist. So I think that's okay. Tradition.
I think it's great. I spend a lot of time looking at this quilt because it has a lot of interesting features to it. Some of the geometric shapes and then the wonky circle. I actually really like this one. This one is a 100% stitch. I wouldn't put this in the graveyard. I would finish it. I would get the custom quilting done, and then I would hang it up proudly because I think that's a very nice quilt.
Yeah. I like it.
So perfect. Well, I think we actually didn't put any quilts in the graveyard today. I'm really impressed with the submissions we got so far. We look forward to seeing more. We're not going to bash on your quilts. We're actually here to take a look at them and really encourage you to finish them, because even where you might have gone a little bit astray, there's a great project in both of these quilts to be finished.
And we have a reason for you to send your stuff, don't we, Matt? We have a prize coming up.
We do. So if we like your UFO, either because it is awesome and we want you to finish, or we really think that maybe you took a wrong turn somewhere and we want to encourage you to keep quilting in a different direction, every quilt we feature, the maker is going to be entered into a giveaway for a prize.
We're not telling you what it is just yet.
No, but we're going to take all. You are, and we're going to take all of the people who we feature their UFOs here on It's So Road. We're going to enter you into a drawing, and there will be a giveaway that we will announce the winners on an episode right before It's So Road May happens, or Road at Home May. Sorry.
You're going to like it.
You are. So in closing, I have a little bit of a COVID-19 update for all of you here. Not to really talk about COVID-19 very much, but we got some good news out here in California. Disneyland is opening the end of April, and they're going to allow spectators at a baseball game. So it's all looking very promising that for January in 2022, we will be having an in-person show. Yes, so I'm very excited to get everyone back together again, get the team together. Of course, we want to make it safe, and we are awaiting guidelines from the state of California and the county and the city and all those wonderful government organizations that will be informing us on how to do it. But all signs are pointing to a very positive end of 2021 into 2022 with a great Road to California quilt show.
Hooray. So if you have questions or comments, or you want to suggest a guest, or you have somebody that maybe has something that you think should be reviewed by Stevie, please reach out to us and let us know so that we can make this for you and we can keep you interested. Oh, we have a question. What's happening with the May show? That is May 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. And as Matt said at the beginning, we have 16 classes per day with some fabulous teachers. We have a nice variety of techniques. So we should be able to have something for everybody.
And we have a couple big announcements about the May show, and it's more of a conference. Think of Road to California's Origins as a quilt conference. That's really the direction of the May show. Less of a traditional quilt show format, but more of a conference format where you're going to attend classes during the day. We've got Roundabout 2.0 coming back, which is really awesome. Excited, and we learned some lessons about Roundabout 2.0 from the last time we offered it, so it'll be even better this time. So we really encourage you to keep watching It's So Road each week, as I will be announcing more and more exciting things that are coming up for the May show. So that's pretty much where we're at. I don't have anything else. Linda, do you have anything else?
I don't have anything else. We just want to make sure everybody stays safe and keep wearing your mask and keep washing your hands so that we can get back together and we can share some hugs real soon.
Absolutely. Stay safe. And we are here every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern time. And you can check it out. And yes, we will have confirming times so that you can know. And there are not replays as of yet for this. The issues with the teachers are contracting. It's their intellectual property. They're not really thrilled about signing it over to us to allow you to replay it and replay it and replay it. So that's kind of the rub. That's why they're all live.
Yeah.
It's So Road will have replays. That's available on Facebook and YouTube at any time you'd like. So anyway, thank you so much for joining us, and we hope you tune into us next week at 11 a.m. Pacific on Wednesday. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.